Alright, I wanted to make this video to explain the basics, like to give you an understanding of what you are actually doing by practicing using your energy. Okay, so I wanted to go through, we'll start off with this. So we all have a nervous system, we can feel when we see things, that's light coming in and then our nerves interpreting the signal, and we got nerves for hearing and nerves for tasting and nerves for smell. We have this physical nervous system, okay? But what many of us are getting into and beginning to understand is that our physical bodies, our nervous system that we have, is not all of us. There's something more out there, people who are doing telekinesis, they're moving objects with their mind. That's something we've never known to be the truth. How are we doing this? How do we learn how to do this? What does this mean? What's the science behind it? Stuff like that. These questions are popping up because these people are able to do these things that we never knew we could do before. So I want to explain in how I think it works type thing. I mean, I don't know the exact science, but I can give a good picture to help with the understanding, and this understanding is going to be really, really helpful in the upcoming videos about how to feel your energy, how to start with moving the energy inside your body. Then you'll learn how to expand the energy to beyond your body, to connect with objects and see things in a new way, which I'm going to explain. So now, jumping over to meridians, which are, you could think of them as nerves. They're the energy nerves. I like to call them light nerves. So these energy nerves, or light nerves, are your meridians. And your meridians are pathways in your body where the energy flows. You can see, when we zoom in, the pointer finger, there's each one of these dots is kind of like a place where the energy stops and then gets pushed to the next place, and it stops and pushed to the next place. So like little stations, you could think of them. They also act as pumps. So the one at the tip of your finger, you can have energy there and you can pump it to the side of your finger, you can pump it out of your finger. This pump kind of rotates whatever way you want the energy to pump. So if you were following the path, you would start here and you'd pump the energy, up to this knuckle, and then you'd pump it up to your wrist, and you would just follow these lines inside of your body to move the energy around. And there's a lot of these because we have a lot of nerves, and there's actually now that I think about it, I'm not sure if we have more light nerves or more physical nerves, maybe the same amount. Not really sure, but right here shows less than normal nerves, but these are only the 12 main meridians, and these are the ones that you really want to practice with. There's I forget the number. I almost want to say 100,000, but I feel like that's a little too big. So we'll say thousands of meridians, but these are only the 12 things. And each one of these points is also an acupuncture point. So when acupuncture, they put the needle in that point. It's to stimulate your energy flow to get it flowing better, because sometimes it gets clogged up, or one of these pumps gets like blocked, and you need to release that block, because a healthy body is a body that has good energy flow in them. Good energy flow inside of the body, inside of the light nervous system, means better connection outside of the body. You have to work from the inside outside. You can't just start at the outside. It just doesn't work that way. You have to work inner to outer. So I'm going to draw a picture here. Let's do this. Let's make this almost even. Okay. And then let's draw the earth. And yeah, what a beautiful earth, right? Or kind of a square shape. Okay, so then let's draw your room, which is the size of a continent. Um, don't worry about proportion, you know, I'm just trying to do this for the visual effect. And there's you, got like a sweet dance type stance. Okay, and then we're going to draw an object which will be bookshelf. I'm going to go to the bookshelf. I don't know how many people have a bookshelf in the room. I don't. There's one in the house, in my house, but not in my room. So here's a sweet bookshelf. And right now we're going to say this guy's a beginner. So he is unaware of his light nerves, and these light nerves give you information, like a new set of information on things. Okay, let's explain that. The light nerves give you a new way of seeing things. Now, this is kind of something you just have to do yourself, and the reason is a blind person, for example, a blind person. If you're trying to explain to a blind person what a color is, you know, my walls are purple, and I'd be like, well, a color is, you know, purple. And you'd be like, what is purple? And you'd be like, a color. And he'd ask you, what is that? Like, what is a color? And to try to explain a color, I mean, you might be able to get close. You could relate a color to sound, synesthesia. I think that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, you might be able to get close on explaining a color to a blind person, but they've never seen it, so they've never experienced the color, so it's just not the same, you know? So this is why this is one of those things where when I say coming up, I'm going to talk about how he's feeling the bookshelf, seeing it in a new light. It's one of those things that you just can't explain. Like, words are just not going to satisfy you. What is going to satisfy you and make sense of the whole entire thing, and you're going to just be like, wow, I get it now. You know, I see, I understand. Is actually doing it yourself. So let's move on with this picture. This guy is just beginning. You know, he's just looking into these tutorials. He's watching this video right now, and now he does a little bit of work. He starts inside the body. He learns to move the energy from his hand to his elbow to his shoulder, in the other hand, and the legs, and gets a good energy flow going inside, a good understanding of being aware of it, you know, feeling where the energy is in your body and getting it to move around. So now he develops these light nerves, which automatically happen once you work on the inside. These are his light nerves. And they're now outside of his body because he's put some work into this. And this light nervous system can keep expanding. It's technically, it's already expanded outwards. It's already around you. But those who don't have this practice, even though it is expanded outwards, they don't feel the input. So it's like if the nerves in my hand or in my arm went up to my wrist, and then no more nerves were in my hand. You know, I could take a hammer to my hand or put my hand in fire, and I wouldn't feel anything. Well, that's the same thing as, even though we do have the nerves all the way around us right now, all of us do, if they're not developed, you don't feel the signals they're giving you. So with the practice, you know, let's go back to the example of no nerves in my hand. With practice, the nerves would spread into my hand, and then I would have feeling in my hand. So with practice, you're going to get feeling of what's around you. So now, let's get rid of this arrow. Okay, so let's say this guy continues his practice, you know, he grows his light nerves even more, and eventually his light nerves are so far out that they are hitting the bookshelf. Now this guy, let's draw him looking over here. He's looking that way, away from the bookshelf. Now, even though he's looking over there, his light nervous system has expanded beyond his body and it's reaching the bookshelf. And he's feeling that with that new perception, that sixth sense that I explained with the whole blind thing that you'll just have to experience. But he's now feeling it, he's now aware of it, even though he isn't even looking at it. So his perception has now expanded since he has this added source of incoming information. Now, later on, we are going to learn how his expanded nerves, which are now interacting with the bookshelf that's 5 feet away from him, we're going to learn how to attach our nervous system, or intertwine our light nervous system with this bookshelf. So there'd be your nerves would just be all up in this thing. And what happens is the bookshelf becomes a part of you because it's in your area, and this area is you because normally you is just inside of yourself. But since you added this new perception which goes beyond yourself and you've trained yourself to feel it, you is now bigger. And if this remote is in my area, this remote becomes a part of me. Because my nervous system would be all going through it, around it, just everywhere. This remote is a part of me. It becomes a part of me. I intertwine with it. And I know that just sounds a little weird, but to move objects with your mind, which we'll explain later, telekinesis, that's what you do. You become one with the object. And once you're one with the object, you learn to use this nervous system and you move the object using your new perception, like your sixth sense. You're moving it with that, like yeah. So I'm going to go over that in later videos.